Alright, these are the test corrections for Chapter 2, taken on October 21st, 2016. Use the figure at the right to answer the questions 1 to 8. Classify each pair of angles as shown. Of the following, write one letter per blank. You may use the letter more than once. So I'm basically going to write one of these letters in one of these blanks based off what I see here. Now, I don't know if these two lines are parallel, but this will help me figure out interior, and then those will be exteriors. And then this is my transversal in green. So 9 and 16. These are on the outside, so those are exterior. They're alternating on the green, so alternate exterior angles, that would be C. Angles 15 and 11, they're both on the inside, but notice how they're on one line there on the blue. That would be a linear pair or supplementary angles, so that would be E. 10 and 15, they are both on the inside of the blue lines. They are alternating on the green, so they're on opposite sides. That would be alternate interior angles. 12 and 15, these are across one another on two lines. Those are vertical angles, D. Question number 5, 9 and 11. You have one on each side. You have one on the inside, one on the outside. So one interior, one exterior. They're on the same side of the transversal, and you could slide it over. That would be corresponding angles for 9 and 11. 9 and 15. Notice how you have one on the inside, one on the outside, but they're not corresponding, so this would be neither or none. 13 and 14, again, that's forming a line with the green, so that would be a linear pair, which are supplementary. Blank plus blank equals 180. And 14 and 11 are alternate interior angles. For questions number 5, write one letter per box using the following picture to name the angles that are. So I'm looking for two congruent angles. Two angles are exactly the same. That would be M and Q. I need two angles that are supplementary. You could have had MN, or switch places, N and M, or N and Q, or Q and N. Okay. I need two angles that are complementary that add up to 90 degrees, so that would be M and P. Or you don't need both, just one, P and Q. Okay. So adds up to 90, blank plus blank equals 90, supplementary blank plus blank equals 180, and congruent is blank equals blank. I believe I told you guys to cross off these to be angle 1 and angle 2 because it's not on the picture there. I see a right angle, so that's complementary. If I see that box here, let me highlight that. That's why it should be set equal to 90, right? Angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90. Well, if I just put in angle 1 for here, my substitution, 4n minus 31, add that to the measure of angle 2, which is 5n plus 4. Now I'm just going to combine like terms, so 4n and a 5n gives us 9n. Negative 31 and a positive 4 gives you negative 27. Add 27 to both sides. 9n is equal to 117. And if I divide by 9 on both sides, I'm going to get n is equal to 1, n equals 13. So n equals 13 there. If I take 13 there and substitute for here and for here, use my calculator. 4 times 13 minus 31 gives me 21 degrees. You're not marked wrong if you don't have degrees. 5 times 13, add 4, that'll give me 69 degrees. And you'll recognize that those two numbers add up to what? 90. Question number 7, solve for the missing variables. Okay. Now, I can't do anything. I can't do anything with the blue line. Does that make sense? The reason why I can't do anything with the blue line is you have two different variables and you can't solve that. So the trick on this problem is to look for where there's two variables, the same variables. Well, that's these. Well, those two are vertical angles. Vertical angles are blank equals blank. I'm going to put in 6x here, 4x plus 8. A lot of you guys have some issues solving equations, so I usually draw a line down where the equal sign is. When I go across the equal sign, that's what I'm doing opposite. So this is a positive, so you're doing the inverse. You're going to get 2x equals 8 divided by 2. X is equal to 4. Now, if I put 4 back into the picture, I'll do this one because this is smaller. It's less work than this one. 6 times 4 will give us 24. So if you think of it, my picture is y, and this one is 24. So that's a linear pair. 24 plus y equals 180. Subtract 24 from both sides, and you will get 156. Y is equal to 156. Now, these numbers should not add up to 180 because they represent variables. Question number 2, write the converse. Write the converse. Converse just means to switch the hypothesis and conclusion. If false, give a counterexample. So let's switch this. So let's switch our blue. It's going to go second. And our green is going to go first. Keep the word if M is between A and B, then you keep that part right. M is the midpoint of AB. Okay, so I have to look at the statement. If M is between A and B, so let me draw A and B, it's saying that the only answer is M must be in the middle. But if I draw M, it just tells me M is anywhere between A and B. I can draw M over here. Class, is M in the middle? No. So my counterexample, M can be anywhere between A and B. It doesn't necessarily need to be in the middle. Question number 7. True or false? An acute angle and an obtuse angle are always supplementary. Okay? So this is where you should be making up numbers or drawing yourself a picture. An acute angle might be 89. Something less than 90, right? And how about an obtuse angle? Let's just say I make up a number 179. If I add those two numbers together, is that going to equal 180, class? No, it's going to be greater than 180, so the answer here is false. Remember, that's that keyword is always. Question B. A pair of vertical angles can be complementary. So here's my vertical angles. Then I need to think of numbers here, and it says complementary. So that's the number that says equals to 90. Well, can I have a pair that that can add up to 90? If I picked 45 and 45, 45 plus 45 equals 90. Those two numbers are complementary. So the answer is true. The only pair that I thought of was 45 and 45. You check later. Question number 8. Complete the proof using either a 2-column or a flow. I'm going to show you the 2-column. statements, reasons. Statement number 1, 2 is equal to 4. That's given. Probably gave you 2 points. Now we're trying to prove 1 is equal to 4. I'm sorry, 1 plus 4 equals 180. Okay, well if you do this, notice here I can't add, I can say 3 plus 4 equals 180, but I don't have any angle 3's in here. Do you see that? I'm going to use angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180. And this is a linear pair. Do you see anything that's the same in both of those? What is it? I see a 2. Every time you see 2, write 4. There's a 2. What am I going to write? 4. Angle 1 plus angle 4 equals 180. What am I doing there with the different colors? We're doing a substitution. Question number 9, complete the proof using either. Again, I'm going to do a 2-column. Statements, reasons. Okay. I want you to recognize in here, are the lines parallel? If you looked at the picture, class, is the lines parallel? Yeah. How do you know that? They look parallel, but they're not. I don't have arrows on those lines. Now you might say, Mr. Ng, I saw that. Well, it's telling us to prove it. So statement number 1, 1 is equal to 2. What's your reason why? Given. Okay. Now, don't use any properties about parallel lines. What's something else on this picture that we can use? Someone said vertical angles. Where are the vertical angles? 2 is equal to 3. Class, do you see anything that's the same over here? The 2's. Every time you see 2, write 1. I see a 2 here. What am I going to write in that statement? 1. 1 is equal to 3. What did you just do? You did a substitution. Okay, we're almost there. If 1, I'm going to put in a red mark. If 1 is equal to 3, what type of relationship do they have? So M, I can prove lines M and N are parallel, corresponding angles converse. If you didn't have the word converse and you had all of this, you only get 3 out of 4 points. The reason why the converse says if corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. And then the last question, how would you describe your upcoming weekend? That should have been fun, safe, and legal. Okay, so the back side, proofs, you might say they're hard, but look, it was only worth 8 points for that whole side. Not much. The front side was probably worth twice as much as that, right? I said 2 points each. Wow, that's pretty generous. 16 here. 2 points each. I think that was 6. Total 4, total 4, total 4, total 4. How much was that out of? What does it say on your paper? 48? So that means this side must have been 40. 26, 30. What? Well, total out of 48.